This is the original release paper that the German wrote out for my dad that said that he was free. And it's kind of beat up, but it's still there. And I want to talk about Marie. Marie was 21 when she came to us, and she brought some things with her. One is the book of Shakespeare, the complete works of Shakespeare in English, and another poem book. She brought a tablecloth that was not embroidered, and for her to do something, because as you realize, she was locked up. She couldn't ever go outside. She had to have something to do. And when my family would go somewhere, she would be home alone, and she had strict orders not to walk through the house because the neighbors below could hear that somebody was there. And so she was stuck in a chair and had to stay there. She wrote this little poem in my little book where my friends and family wrote little poems. That was the thing they did in those years. And I treasure that. I said before that she was a difficult person. And the reason I think, as I think about it, is that she never realized what danger she was in and what danger she was putting us in. She kind of thought that she was at a bed and breakfast. But the bed and breakfast didn't have anything either. We had coupons that we got every week. They looked like this. And then they would tell us which coupon was good that week to pick up meat or potatoes or sugar. The weird thing was that when we went to the store with our coupon, the food wasn't there. So we had the coupons, but no food. I have some other things here. This is the tablecloth that Marie brought, and only one corner of it she embroidered. And later, lots of time later, I took the tablecloth and finished it as a memory to Marie. In 1936, the Olympics was in Berlin, and Hitler, of course, was already a main character in Germany, and he thought that the Germans were the super race. And here we had Jesse Owens, who was a black man, and he won some of the races, and that made Hitler very angry that an American, no less, would win. Let's see. The Dutch are kind of well, I can say fun people. You can't say that, but I can. They make fun of a lot of things, and we made fun of our dictator, Hitler, and we sang songs. And he wanted to go to England, and if you know your history, he never did make it to England because you couldn't get there. But on our coast, because England is right across the sea from the Netherlands, they had bunkers and they had guns shooting at London all the time. So England had a tough time. Now I wanted to tell you that when somebody takes over your country and your life and your everything, they take everything from you. You have nothing left. We had to give our bikes and our radios, whatever they wanted. They would come and say, with their guns pointed, of course, okay, hand it over. And if you didn't, you were dead. We had a radio, and I didn't know that during the war, but my dad, like I said, was in the resistance, and he was doing a lot of stuff and got instructions from England over our little hidden radio. They also took over our schools. And I would go to school in the morning and get there, and it would be full of German soldiers. And the teachers would say, "Go on home. We can't go to this school anymore. We'll let you know when we have another school to go to." I was in 6 different schools. And you may think that was fun, but it wasn't fun. Because they took our freedom away. Even us as children, we couldn't be taught English or French or any other language except German. And I was a stubborn Dutch girl and fought against that. I didn't want to learn German. But anyway, you learned it anyway when everybody speaks it around you. This is some music. The Germans have beautiful music, made wonderful movies, had beautiful movie stars, and I was a teenager and I enjoyed the movies and everything else that came with it. And since I was a piano player, well, this goes in another story. Towards the end of the war, my dad came home with a young man, he was 16 years old, that he had found in the streets of Amsterdam running around in his underwear. He was a soldier, a German soldier, and he was crying for his mother. He wanted to go home. He knew that they weren't going to win. And so Dad took pity on him and brought him home to us. Well, at that time I was about the same age as I was, but there was a lot of competition between the two of us, because even though he what do you call that, got out of the army, but not legally. He deserted. That's the word. He deserted. He still was a German. And, of course, I was a Dutchman. And but he liked the movies and the movie stars. And he would say, "Go get that music," or "get that." And I would go to the music store and pick up the music that he would suggest. And then we would sing around the piano and had some good times. But then also there was a lot of strife between the two of us. And one day he grabbed me, and we had had a good fight, and he was going to throw me out the window. And of course I did know how to defend myself. And when my dad heard of this, now this is towards the end of the war, he had to remove him and put him somewhere else. His grandfather, as I remember correctly, the name was Heine. And Heine is a big poet in Germany, or was a big poet. So he came from good background. But he wanted to fight me, and he got the wrong person. I have often wondered what has happened to him since we had such close contact. This has been an experience that has been with me all my life. At the most unopportune moments, these things that happened to me and my dad and my family come back to me like a backflash, and I will never forget. We are free in this country, and we got to do everything in our power to stay that way. We are a mighty nation, and we do not want to fight. We haven't started any fights, but I was so grateful that America got into this fight of the Second World War, because that's the reason I'm here. I have a little poem that talks about the Dutch flag and the American flag. The American flag is red, white, and blue. The Dutch flag is also red, white, and blue. The Dutch and American flags have similar colors, red, white, and blue. When a Dutch visitor was here in the USA, he began to explain to an American friend how he saw the red, white, and blue of the Dutch flag. The colors, he said, are the symbols of our taxes. Red is for when we talk about them, white when we pay our tax bills, and blue after they've been paid. I know what you mean, replied the American. It's the same here, only we also have stars. And I thought that was kind of a fun way to end this. Thank you for inviting me. Remember and never forget that war is terrible, and work hard to keep this country free. Thank you.